The ground in Boulder, Colorado may be frozen, but one family of farmers is hard at work. As NPR's Selena Simmons-Duffin reports, they're trying to cultivate legislators.
In a chilly storeroom piled high with fall vegetables, Jimena Cordero is chopping some of them up and fanning them out onto trays. Cordero is the farm manager at Olin Farms, not far from Boulder, Colorado. She's put together bright pink and purple radishes, apple, fresh turnips. And you just cut, what is the green one?
So this is a green luobo, and these are carrots.
I did know the carrots. These locally grown vegetables aren't just pretty. They're being prepared to make a case to state lawmakers at a meeting later that afternoon.
You can have a super colorful veggie tray for a meeting, and everybody can get on the same vibration, eating the same good, healthy food.
That's Cordero's dad, Mark Guttridge, who started this farm with his wife, Kenna, 17 years ago. At the meeting with about a dozen local farmers, 2 state reps, and the state commissioner of agriculture, Guttridge plans to explain how Boulder County has made creative investments in his farm that could be scaled up to the state or even national level. Before the meeting, he takes me to a nearby field to see one of those investments. A dozen sheep Guttridge raises for wool mill about in a field bordered by a simple white fence. They munch on radishes that have been left over for them, and as they eat, they poop.
So these guys are out fertilizing the radish field. They'll be out here a couple more weeks, and then it'll sit for about 4 or 5 months, and then we'll just till that in and get our next summer veggies planted right there.
The fence around the field is a special movable type that Olin Farms could afford thanks to grants from the Boulder County Sustainability Office. It allows them to move the sheep from one field to another so they can fertilize as they go. He also used grants for a farm compost system to fertilize the fields that the sheep don't graze on.
Really building up our soil health, and that relates directly to the nutrient quality and nutrient density of the food.
The Boulder County Public Health Department has invested in helpful ways, too. It created a coupon program that low-income families, many of mixed immigration status, can use to get free fruits and vegetables from Olin Farms' stand.
It's great because it brought a little more diversity to our farm stand, new people, new families. Try to make it more of a place where people come and get their food, but they also hang out and learn and hopefully take some values and good food home with them.
Nutrition incentive programs, like the fruit and veg coupons in Boulder, are spreading all over the country, and most are funded through the federal Farm Bill. Amy Lazarus-Yarrow, executive director at the Gretchen Swanson Center for Nutrition, says they are a triple win.
So it's basically good for the consumer because they're getting the healthy food. It's good for the farmer, and then it's good for the economy.
Then again, these programs only help local farmers if people use their incentives on food that's grown locally. Guttridge says it's a challenge to compete with cheaper food and produce at the big grocery stores in town, where a lot of people in Boulder and neighboring Longmont go to redeem their fruit and veg coupons. He argues processed food is already subsidized, so it's not a fair fight.
He's correct. There's lots of subsidies for soy and corn.
That's Jim Krieger, executive director of a nonprofit called Healthy Food America.
They're key ingredients for ultra-processed foods, which makes their price artificially low relative to fresh fruits and vegetables.
He says governments can use regulation to block people from using their nutrition incentives at big grocery stores, so they're forced to use them in the local food system. But Boulder County isn't taking that approach. Instead of sticks, they're using carrots, trying to make locally farmed produce easier to access and better than the flown-in competition.
These are our potatoes.
Mackenzie Selke is the executive director of Boulder County Farmers Markets. She shows me around a big warehouse that acts as a food hub, bringing together produce from lots of different local farms for distribution and deliveries.
And there's a lot of very precious pears and apples in this walk-in right now.
She argues one big advantage of buying from local farmers is that they can be responsive to the community. For example,
we have a large Nepalese community here, and so we're starting to hear more about staple goods from the Nepalese cuisine and thinking about, will someone grow a specific green or a specific tuber for that population?
Having people from different backgrounds become part of the local food scene pushes farmers to think about what else they can grow, she says.
I talked to someone who just had gotten a request for Crowder peas, which are very common in African diaspora cuisine and would grow really beautifully here.
Yes, Selke acknowledges there are plenty of big structural problems with America's food system, but she's proud of what Boulder County has been able to do with local tax revenue to make local produce affordable to more people.
I think that local dynamism and that local innovation is pretty cool. And I've also seen it push the state and other municipalities to think differently.
Policy can be a force for good, she says, to help forge connections between farmer and market and hungry resident so it's easier and more affordable to eat locally grown food. Selena Simmons-Duffin, NPR News, Boulder.